Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we're continuing our X-Men series as we take a look at the prequel X-Men First Class. And if you are enjoying these videos, I do ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new episode. Now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we're covering X-Men First Class. This movie was released on May 25th, 2011. It was directed by Matthew Vaughn. The screenplay was by Ashley Edward Miller, Zach Stentz, Jane Goodman, and Matthew Vaughn. The production companies were 20th Century Fox, Marvel Entertainment, The Donner's Company, Bad Head Harry Productions, Dune Entertainment, and Indigenous Film Productions. And it was distributed by 20th Century Fox. The budget for this movie was $150 million, and it did a box office return of $356.6 million. Now let's take a look at the production. So during the production of X2, producer Lauren Schuler Donner had pitched the idea of a film focusing on the younger X-Men. Zach Penn had been hired to write a spin-off movie focusing on the young X-Men characters, but the idea eventually fell through. In December of 2004, Fox hired screenwriter Sheldon Turner to draft a spin-off X-Men film, and the character he chose would be Magneto and would have focused on the character during 1939 to 1955. In April of 2007, David S. Goyer was hired to direct, and shooting was to begin in Australia. However, during the 2007 to 2009 Writers Guild strike, producers would eventually cancel that film. Producer Simon Kinberg, after reading the comic X-Men First Class, was pitching to Fox to adapt the comic as their next X-Men film. In 2008, Josh Schwartz was hired to write the screenplay, but declined to join the production as the director. Fox would approach Bryan Singer in October of 2009. However, Singer wanted to make a different kind of movie, and he brought on James Moss to write a new screenplay for X-Men First Class. Ashley Edward Miller and Zach Stentz would also be hired to write a new screenplay, deciding to focus on Magneto's and Xavier's relationship. Singer would eventually drop out of the project because he was hired to direct Jack the Giant Killer, and director Matthew Vaughn was hired after the success of his movie Kick-Ass. Filming of the movie would start on October 31st, 2010 in Oxford, England and in Pinewood Studios. And Henry Jackman would be hired to compose the score, and a soundtrack was released by Sony Classical Records on June 6, 2011. So let's take a look at the cast. So we have James Macovy, who plays Charles Xavier, Micheal Fassbender, who plays Eric Lencher, Kevin Bacon, who plays Sebastian Shaw, Rose Byrne, who plays Moira McTaggart, Jennifer Lawrence, who plays Raven, aka Mystique, January Jones, who plays Emma Frost, Nicholas Hoult, who plays Hank, Zoe Kravitz as Angel Salvador, Alex Gonzalez as Janice Quinstead, and Oliver Platt as the Man in the Black Suit. In terms of the plot, before Charles Xavier and Eric Lencher took the names Professor X and Magneto, they were two young men discovering their powers for the first time. Before they were archenemies, they were the closest of friends, working together with other mutants to stop the greatest threat in the world ever known. In the process, a rift between them opened, which began the internal war between Magneto's Brotherhood and Professor X-Men. So this is kind of a prequel to the first X-Men movie, and it shows how Magneto and Xavier first met and developed the X-Men, the original X-Men team. In terms of the legacy, this movie took place in the movie premiere took place in Ziegfeld Theater in New York City, and this movie had several partnerships deals, and they included Farmers Insurance Group, BlackBerry Playbook, U.S. Army, and Wrigley. And Wrigley Australia actually would develop their own X-Men flavor of gum, so kind of interesting there. So would I recommend this movie? I think this movie is really good and a great way to add to the X-Men franchise. It's a kind of an interesting how they went right back to the original first scene with Magneto in the war camp and kind of started from there. I liked how they incorporated real-life history into the story, using the Cuban Missile Crisis as a background for the war between the two mutant factions. And I think the performances from Jennifer Lawrence, James Macovy, and Micheal Fassbender are amazing. They're really the standout characters, and it really captures the emotion by developing characters for those three, and they really take the audience on a ride, which I definitely appreciate in a modern movie. So overall, definitely recommend this movie. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would love for anyone to please comment below on what they think of X-Men First Class. And as we look forward to our next episode, we're going to be taking a look at Pixar's First Princess as we take a look at Brave. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.